Welcome to this Spokane and Coeur d'Alene housing market update. It's June 2025. This video is for those of you that want to know the facts about the local housing market without any of the nonsense fluff, the sales pitches, or the hooks. By the end of this video, you'll know what's going on in the housing market here in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene so that you can be an informed buyer or home seller. It's that simple. My name is Phil Wells. I'm a real estate agent licensed in Washington and Idaho. If you do want to talk to me privately about something, my details will be in the description to this video, and I'd be honored to help you out and answer any questions that you might have. We'll start this video by taking a quick look at that critical demand driver, that being mortgage rates, of course, before doing a deep dive into what's been going on in our local markets of Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Before we get going, go and follow me on Instagram. I am trying to increase my follower count there, so go and do me a favor and give me a follow. Let's get into it. Looking first at the behavior of the 30-year fixed rate conventional mortgage. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, I'm not going to watch this because I'm using a VA loan or an FHA loan or a USDA loan or whatever it is, I will give you a link below where you can check your current rates. But this is still a relevant section to you because we're looking at overall trends and the Fed funds rate and things like that. At the start of May, we were at 6.83%. We then had a little bump back above the 7% mark in mid-May. This will have affected sales as people's purchasing power declined. There's also that psychological effect of breaking through a barrier like 7% that cools off the market. Since the start of May and bringing us up to date, mortgage rates have gradually declined from their peak in the month to where they are today at 6.89%. It's worth noting too that the Federal Reserve is sticking to their current Fed funds rate of 4.5%, despite consistently low inflation figures. So I would say if you're one of those buyers that's been sat on the sideline waiting to swoop in and pick up a property when rates drop, then sure, have a plan for that, but understand the current market that we're in right now and how to win right now. Not hoping that something may or may not happen, and then finding out that it happens to a lesser degree than you'd hope. Now we've looked at mortgage rates, let's look at our first local market here, which is of course Spokane. These are the latest figures that are available, but just like as we looked at with mortgage rates, we're going to be looking at figures from May. Sales here are up a strong 6.9%. It has been something of a yo-yo year, with sales up 6%, then down 7%, then back up 6%. Remember back in January, we saw closed sales increase 16% on a year-over-year basis. Now that's not an easy market to sell into. Are you going to catch a down month or an up month if you're a seller? Median home prices in Spokane are $450,000, and they're up 5.9% on a year-over-year basis. That is not a small amount of money for Spokane, and those prices continue to rise. In fact, the Spokane Journal of Business just published an article stating that 2/3 of Spokane County residents cannot afford a medium-priced home. That's hardly welcome news if you're a buyer when you're teaming high interest rates with a high purchase price. Inventory continues to be lower than the rest of the nation and is currently at 2.1 months of supply here in Spokane. Sure, we're up 7.8% from last year, but it's still slim pickings relative to national inventory levels here in Spokane. New listings are down on a very marginal basis compared to last year, and active listings are up substantially, 15.2%. So it seems like a good time to be a buyer here in Spokane. You have an increasing inventory pool there, and believe it or not, high mortgage rates can actually work in your favor as a buyer, because sellers recognize that you might need some help getting to the finish line there in terms of inspection concessions or upfront closing cost concessions. I've worked on several deals this past month, and I haven't seen a single one of them that hasn't had some combination of a contract signed below list price, upfront closing costs agreed, or inspection concessions agreed to when the inspection rolls around. If you're a seller in this market, then know that you should have a contract inside of 2 weeks if you list your home right now, which is great news for people that are trying to sell and sell quickly. The trick is pricing it right though. and doing everything that you can to properly prepare the listing for sale. Taking the time to walk through with your listing agent and take care of those negative attention grabbers will be worthwhile. That being said though, even with the best preparation in the world, unexpected inspection items can come up, and unfortunately cancelled contracts are pretty common right now, as buyers are more and more sensitive to things that come up during the contract, for example, those inspection items that I just mentioned. Now let's look at what's happening in beautiful Coeur d'Alene. Remember, of course, that the Coeur d'Alene MLS encompasses much of North Idaho. We're not just talking about the downtown city of Coeur d'Alene. As with before, these are the latest figures that are available, and they detail actual sales from May. Coeur d'Alene's actual sales in May moved downwards a significant 8.3%. And as you can see, cumulatively for 2025 versus 2024, sales are only ahead in 2025, 0.5%. That represents a real reversal from the positive sales growth trend we've been seeing here in Coeur d'Alene. Months of supply is at 5.29 months, so we're creeping back up here in Coeur d'Alene in terms of months of supply. That's not what you want to see if you're a seller, as the prospect of your listing getting lost in a sea of inventory is increasing. Median home prices are down a marginal percentage, and they're currently at $533,000 on a year-over-year basis here in May. Median days on market here in Coeur d'Alene are 59 days on market, so approximately 2 months to get a contract here in Coeur d'Alene if you're a seller. That does make planning challenging, but it's not impossible. It just means that you need to focus up front on preparing the listing properly for the market, so you give yourself as good a chance as possible to get the contract inside 2 months. Buyers in this market should be looking at 59 days on market and a pretty large inventory pool as a sign that they can look for the home that they want to buy in a leisurely manner and not feel rushed. So yes, you don't need to move quickly, but when you do find the property that ticks all your boxes, then you should move with a purpose, as you don't want to find out that there's another buyer out there looking for the exact same thing as you. Buyers should also understand that this market condition doesn't necessarily mean that they can bag a deal and lowball on properties. Homes here in Coeur d'Alene are retaining their value, and in fact they are increasing in value. So in short, you can probably buy the home that you want to buy here in the Coeur d'Alene area, but you're likely going to pay at or close to list price for it. And yes, you may be able to pick up some concessions along the way, but don't go into a contract banking on you getting a roof done, for example. Sellers in this market, you should recognize that there are several unfavorable factors working against you in today's market. You have 59 days on market, you have an increasing inventory pool, and a recent drop in sales. You should take from this that selling your home is not going to be a passive endeavor. You will have to put some work in up front to make sure that you sell that property. Gone are the days where you can just list something and hope for the best. This is going to come down to good pricing strategy, preparation, staging, and then keeping on top of things like cleaning and lawn care while your home is listed. That is because 59 days on market represents a very slow feedback loop where you find out whether you did a proper job with your listing and you're going to get a contract on it. So isn't it worth doing the work up front and making sure that you left nothing on the table to make sure that your home was properly prepared for market? Especially if you're trying to plan something like a long distance move or a simultaneous sale and purchase. That's it for this video. Let me know if there's anything missing from this video that you want to see that's going to help you be an informed home buyer or home seller. Contact me directly or leave me a comment down below. If you are looking at buying or selling or investing here in the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area, please feel free to reach out to me. My details will be in the description of the video. I'd be honored to help you out and answer any questions that you might have. Like I said, my name is Phil Wells, and thank you for watching.